So the developments in the fintech space, even over the last 6 months, there have been lots. So day before yesterday, we had a new announcement from the FCA, the regulator, on the peer-to-peer industry, which is going to actually change the regulation of the peer-to-peer industry, which is one of the sort of big areas, big verticals within the fintech space, really affects the growth of that industry from being the darling of government and the regulators, and it will really shut down actually that industry over the next couple of years. So the assurances that an investor will look at when they're putting money into a fintech business are lots. It kind of depends on the business, obviously, but the principal ones will be around the equity, making sure you've got titles to the shares that you're selling. I'm an IP lawyer. The key issues around ownership of IP and disputes and risk around IP. And then the big area for all fintech businesses is regulation. So do you have the right permissions? If you're dealing with other entities, how do they interact with you if they're regulated entities? So those kind of three areas are the key. So on the pace of investment that companies are making in fintech, I think you've seen a gradual growth in that over the last 4 or 5 years. There was a bit of a drop-off around the referendum in the UK, so that there was a sort of a drop in terms of volumes and level investment, size of investment, but still I think the data shows that we're growing. Last year was the first year that both Europe and Asia, in terms of overall volumes of investment, outpaced the US, which is that's a real tipping point. I don't know whether that will continue, but I guess volumes continue to grow, valuations continue to grow. We are due a bit of a cooling down, and inevitably there will be some failures probably over the next 12 to 18 months. So that could take a bit of the heat off the market, but generally, it's been a fairly steep curve, and that will continue. So pace of adoption of fintech solutions, again, will differ depending on the types of business that you're talking about. For sort of B2C businesses, it's about growth and getting customers. That's tough. It's a lot tougher than most businesses think. So what you've seen over the last couple of years is sort of some great expectations, but actually it's been a lot harder to grow customers than people thought. So often that means they've got to take further investment in order to keep going, but also to do the marketing and the sort of the development, customer development that they need to hit the growth figures that they need. In other areas, it's around having good technology. If you're selling to a bank, you need to be able to get in the door, knock on enough doors and keep going and be persistent, but also have technology that someone wants to buy fundamentally.